It's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Elon Musk just publicly advocated for a dictatorship in the United States of America. Look at this. He shared this post saying, "We need to Bukele our court system. Watch how quickly the country is fixed." For those who are unfamiliar with who that is the president of El Salvador, commonly referred to as a dictator. Here's some words from him here saying, "If you don't impeach the corrupt judges, you cannot fix the country." Sounds very similar to something Donald Trump would say, doesn't it? And as you can see up there, Elon Musk is saying all of this is essential. The reason they're saying all of this is because a federal judge struck down Donald Trump's attempt to send the National Guard to Portland. But it's very ironic they would call that judge corrupt considering Donald Trump appointed him himself. But let's just think about what exactly Elon Musk and all these other MAGA people are saying. Bukele's government in El Salvador removed the entire constitutional court and attorney general in 2021, replacing them all with loyalists. Since then, he's consolidated power, jailed thousands of people without due process, silenced critics, and attacked the press. Calling that essential is not reform, it is authoritarianism, and there's no other way to put it. Elon Musk is trying to paint the destruction of judicial independence as an essential step towards fixing the country, and he has over 220 million followers.
All right, I played that because I want people to listen and pay attention to what he said when he said, I'm gonna play it again and then pay attention to this part.
Removed the entire constitutional court and attorney general in 2021, replacing them all with loyalists. Since then, he's consolidated power, jailed thousands of people without due process, silenced critics, and attacked the press. Calling that essential is not reform, it is authoritarianism, and there's no other way to put it.
And that was whoever Elon Musk quoted that guy. I don't know who. Let me see. Who was the quote on that guy? Bukele or whatever. That's what Donald Trump is doing. Silencing the media. And we're going to get to that right now. Silencing the media. You only want loyalists, people who is loyal to his cause. And, using the government to enforce, law and order. Now, I'm saying just it's what's happening. Now, if this was not happening, that tweet wouldn't make any sense. It would be like, oh, you just gaslighting. But Elon Musk is actually explaining what's going on from a dictatorship point of view. And I don't know if Donald Trump is really friends with Elon Musk at this point, because Elon Musk, it sounds like it's not even about Elon Musk tweeting that. I think Elon Musk is trying to expose what Trump is. I don't think they're friends. I think they had a business relationship that went sour, and sometimes Musk is for Trump and sometimes Musk is attacking Trump. But I think, and Elon Musk is from South Africa. What does he care about? I don't know. I just don't get that. I'm like, bro, do you know what's going on in South Africa? But also Donald Trump doesn't want to go green, where Elon Musk is using he wants a lot of self-sustaining vehicles and other things in our country, more solar energy, more stuff like that. And I don't think Donald Trump want that. Donald Trump don't want wind power, stuff like that. So that's why I think Elon Musk I think Elon Musk is low key trying to destroy Trump from just little small things that he says and does, because what he just tweeted, he said what he just tweeted doesn't really, I don't know why this commentator, I don't know why he's so against what Elon Musk said, because Elon Musk just laid the play out for you. Now, if Democrats are smart, they would use this as a tool, but instead they're trying to weaponize Elon Musk and say Elon Musk is bad for this and that. He actually giving you the play, but I don't know. What do y'all think? I don't know.
We have some major news. Donald Trump just publicly demanded that his FCC revoke the broadcasting licenses of NBC and ABC. Not kidding. In a new statement, Donald Trump started with a weird rant. I don't know what he's saying. I don't even think he knows what he's saying, but he wrote, quote, "I knew Al Sharpton for many years. Not that it matters, but he was a major Trump fan. He'd asked me to go to his fake rallies because I brought big crowds. I don't know." But then he said he got to know Brian Roberts, chairman of Fake News NBC, who gave him what would be one of the lowest rated shows in television. Roberts is afraid to take him off because it wouldn't be politically correct. This is just one of the many reasons that the FCC should look into the license of NBC, which shows almost exclusively positive Democrat content. Likewise, ABC Fake News. He is demanding that his FCC take NBC and ABC off the air simply because they report things that he doesn't like. Number one, this is a blatant attack on the First Amendment. Donald Trump is not even trying to hide his attacks on free speech anymore. But also number two, this is exactly why you don't bend the knee to a wannabe dictator. ABC settled with Donald Trump for $15 million, and he's coming back for more. He will take and take and take until there's nothing left to take. We have some major news.
And just because Donald Trump won a lawsuit against ABC, ABC needs to figure out what they doing wrong. Obviously, yeah, but yeah, it's freedom of speech. But at some point, I don't know. Let me see what well, I'm gonna Google what he maybe we can see what the it says lawsuit of over inaccurate on-air assertions by George Stephanopoulos. Well, of course, it's a defamation lawsuit. You can't lie on somebody. That makes no sense. So, they just won a lawsuit and they want more. But if you actively have people on your platform lying to people about what's happening or what's going on, then yeah, you get a defamation lawsuit. Look at what Ray J is going through with Kim Kardashian. Bro is y'all probably ain't in that messy media, but at the same time, you really gonna come out here and say some wild shit about somebody and expect them to lay off of you? No. Donald Trump does what every businessman does, is sue the fuck out of you. So why would you allow somebody to say something on your platform and then not backtrack what was being said? Like, if it was a lie, that's why you have fact checkers. So your fact checkers, when you say something online, your fact checkers will be like, "Oh no, that's not true. This is the thing that's happening," and then you go on that. So, but again, because of that right there, Donald Trump has a vengeance on you, like that. And I understand why, because you lying on him. Just don't lie on him. If you got the truth, there's enough facts out here about Donald Trump, so you don't have to lie on him. You know what I mean? Like, he will tell you everything he saying, and if you just go in to his tweet, you'll figure it out. But sometimes opinions shouldn't be used as defamation. If I'm just giving an opinion how I feel about you, that's not defamation. That's just an opinion. Now, if I state it as a fact, then that's when it becomes defamation. And I think what ABC was doing was stating things were a fact, and it was just an opinion. So they got caught up in the.
Well, I hope you had a good time, everybody. I think it was a really good day and a half. Very intensive. Any questions?
What's the best part? What's the best part?
I read someplace that the networks were 97% against me. I got 97% negative, and yet I won it easily. I won all 7 swing states, popular, but won everything. And then 97% against. They give me only bad publicity or press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away. It will be up to Brendan Carr.
Instead of the FCC issues license to individual broadcast affiliates, authorized the stations to use public airwaves. I don't know what all this is about.
Ratings were worse than Colbert, I think. They got rid of Colbert, which was a good thing they did. That's something that should be talked about for licensing too. When you have a network, then you have evening shows, and all they do is hit Trump. That's all they do. If you go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative one in years or something. Somebody said.
I'm gonna be honest. The reason why I think late night shows talk about Trump, one, he's the president, but two, sometimes it's laughable. Some of the shit he says and does is just like, you gotta make a joke about it. I mean, for instance, why Jimmy Kimmel got canned. Jimmy Kimmel got canned for pointing out the fact that a reporter asked Donald Trump, your friend Charlie Kirk was assassinated. What's your thoughts on that? He said, it was terrible, but we have all those trucks over there that are coming to the bar. If that's the jokes kind of write themselves. But we haven't had nobody in there like that. Like, and I'm gonna just say this: did they make jokes about Joe Biden? No. A few did, a few small jokes, but still, Trump was still the forefront of all the butts of the jokes. But were there a lot of jokes you could have wrote about Joe Biden? Absolutely. I don't know why they didn't talk about Joe Biden. I wouldn't have made fun of Joe Biden. I'm just a big critic of Joe Biden. You know, I don't know why we even Democrats even put. I say we. I don't know why Democrats put them, because I sure didn't. That was one vote that I was like, you know, I'm gonna let y'all handle this. I'm gonna let y'all. But for him to take over and win over Kamala Harris, and then when he got in office, and it was like, but he brought Kamala Harris in, which was great. But I think her whole vice presidency was overshadowed by Joe Biden. So what she really could have done for this country was nothing. It was nothing. Even her running for president in 107 days, it was nothing. Like it was completely mishandled. The Democrats did that 2 terms in a row. You get Joe Biden, 2, you get Kamala Harris with 107 days. So, you know, I would make a lot of jokes about that, but I guess I had to go back and laugh at some of the jokes and shit that Joe Biden would say and do. But, you know, like I said, he just wasn't as amusing. Let's put it like that. So of course they aim at Trump. It's an easier target. It's not saying that it's right, but where are all the conservative comedians out there? Conservative comedians aren't in the media. That's what the problem is. Conservatives aren't leading in the late night TV show space. So, is there a space for late night politics? Bill Maher is like one of the most unbiased, biased people out, and I really like Bill Maher. It's another guy, but he also criticizes a lot of conservative. He sounds like he from British or something. He from Britain or something. Y'all know who I'm talking about, but you know.
said 97% against.
First of all, I definitely don't think that the government should be involved ever in dictating what a comedian can or cannot say in a monologue. That's crazy.
Crazy.
Now, if the problem is the companies, if they're being pressured by the government, so if that's real, and if people on the right are like, yeah, go get them, oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy for supporting this. Let them say the government should be involved in censoring people's speech. Yeah. Let them support that. Let these fucking dumbasses, because Jimmy Kimmel's a leftist, let these dumbasses think it's a good idea and we should celebrate that.
That's the most toxic shit I keep seeing online when people are like, yeah, shut them down.
First of all, I definitely don't think that the government should be involved.
Now, I know y'all listen to Joe Rogan. What he say is law, okay? So that, again, there you have it. Like, y'all probably listen to Joe Rogan before you listen to Trump. So if Joe Rogan is saying, no, that's not a good idea, it will never be a good idea to involve the FCC in free speech. It'll never be a good idea, and this, again, it will further push the agenda of Project 2025, but y'all ain't read that. I mean, I guess y'all read it.
Our goal and our obligation here is to make sure that broadcasters are serving the public interest. And if there's local TV stations that don't think that running that programming does it, then they have every right under the law in their contracts to preempt it. And we'll see how this plays out. But I do think that, again, we're in the midst of a massive shift in dynamics in the media ecosystem for lots of reasons. Again, including the permission structure that President Trump's election has provided. And I would simply say we're not done yet with seeing the consequences of that shift.
Well, what does that mean when you say you're not done yet, then? I mean, will you only be pleased when none of these comedians have a show on broadcast television?
No, again, it's not about any particular show or any particular person. It's just we're in the midst of a very disruptive moment right now, and I just frankly expect that we're going to continue to see changes in the media ecosystem. The way this works is that the local broadcast station is supposed to be responsible for the content. So the check on that content is not the government, it's not me here at the FCC, it's your local TV station in Provo, Utah. It's your local TV station in Scranton. It's on them, under the law. They're responsible for the content. They're responsible for judging whether they think it's in the public interest or serves the needs of their local communities. Not for me to decide. Our goal.
Well, there y'all have it. Y'all heard it from Brandon Carr, man. That's going to be our last one for the night. And I just want to say, man, thank you all for joining. But, again, the FCC, it's looking pretty sketchy. It's looking pretty sketchy out there. I hope that they don't get involved in politics. I hope they stick to what is better off for the country as far as what is being shown on TV. And you can't censor. If you censor late night shows, then you also will censor media that is pandering to its base, meaning if their base is Democrats or if their base is Republicans, then it's whoever's in power has the power to censor that media source. So then you'll start to see media on and offline. And then that's when you get into propaganda. And do you really want to turn on your TV to see liberal propaganda as a Republican? Or do you really want to turn on your TV and see conservative propaganda as a Democrat? Now, the right to choose what media you follow or media you listen to it should be a basic right as an American. It ain't in the Constitution, but just a basic right, who you want to listen to. But it's what comes into play is when you have people who have strong opinions and large voices speaking out, and people are using violence to silence people who have strong opinions. And of course, all the conspiracies come to name. But then, at the same time, which this has nothing to do with, I don't know how much this has to do with political speaking, but the guy in the Mormon church who rammed into the church and burned it and shot people and stuff like that, he had those 2 American flags on the back of his truck, and we equate that to a Republican conservative person. I don't know if he was, but that's what we equate that to, and I believe he was, but don't quote me on that. That's not fact. That's my opinion. But then the person who took the life of Charlie Kirk was supposedly he'd been radicalized by his transsexual boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever his pronouns seemed to be at the time. But he had a very conservative family, and he probably didn't stand. But that's, again, look at these kids these days. These kids are not our parents. Our parents may have been one way, but our kids are a different way. Some of these parents would frown upon their kid being in love with the same sex, while as these kids embrace it. It's a different life for me. I don't know what's going on. But what I'm saying is this is how people, that's how you see a person who's far right MAGA have a son that's doing this, and then he goes out and allegedly takes the life of Charlie Kirk because of the rhetoric that he was speaking. Should we silence these people based on they strong opinions and values? No, we shouldn't do that. But we also shouldn't ostracize people for their life choices, because this is America. We are free to move about the country and live as we want to. So I'm not saying do what the fuck you want to. I'm saying we have rights and freedoms too. So should somebody going around telling somebody about how they should feel should not be taken out. And again, that's part of censorship. You don't get that right as an American. You don't get the right to shut somebody up because you don't like what they say. And then when our government comes in and starts doing the same thing, it's like, damn, you know what I mean? So I hope, whether y'all think I'm far left or a liberal and crying my liberal tears, I do have some damn sense. And you might not like everything, but you gonna learn something. You're gonna respect it. So